This is the week the United States celebrates freedom. It's going to be July 4th, Independence Day in America, and it will be hot, 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 and the fireworks are going to be courtesy of an Aries fiery moon. So welcome. I'm Judith Royal, archetypal astrologer, and this is your astrology weather forecast for July 2nd through the 8th, 2018. And I've got three main things for you this week. First of all, we're in the third quarter moon phase, which comes July 6th, that's this Friday, under that fiery Aries moon. So we'll have a crisis turning point about your relationship with the outer world. Secondly, we do have that July 4th celebration, and I'm going to propose that it's America Appreciation Day, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. And then third, it's not too early for me to start giving you a big heads up and even a sneak peek, because we're going to have a pair of eclipses in July that are going to be a very big game changer for all of us and probably for our country. And these changes are not just going to be an upgrade. No, they're revolutions and ingenious revelations. So that's a lot ahead of us. I want you to think about the elements as we talk about compatibility for the week ahead. I'm going to walk you through Monday through Sunday. And first here, let's take a look at your July lunar calendar for 2018. And I've given you sort of a cheat sheet with it so that you can, by color coding, look at the elements. This week we have water, fire, and earth. Pisces water starts off our week on Monday, Tuesday. Aries fire for Thursday and Friday. And Taurus earth for Saturday and Sunday. So you're identifying the 2 to 2.5 days a week when the moon is in the same sign as your birth moon, or at least the same element. If it's in the same sign, it's your lunar to-be birthday, and you are incredibly in tune. Your psychic sonar is peaked. So you want to really pay attention to those days. And then there's 2 days or 2.5 days when the moon will be in the same sign as your sun sign when you were born. And those are solar-powered days for you. They're yang to-do days, so plan to do a lot of activities because that's what you'll feel like doing. So, oh, and by the way, if you don't know your moon sign, just shoot me an email, judith@judithroyal.com, and I'll look it up for you. So, we start the week Monday, which is Moon Day. Monday is ruled by the moon. Hence, it's often a very emotional day. But this week, the moon will be in Pisces for July 2nd, and it will have a very friendly relationship with both Saturn and Uranus in Taurus and Capricorn. So this is earth and water. Earth holds water, so that is a very stable, down to earth, obviously, feeling that we start the week with. Very practical. Now, Tuesday is Mars Day. It's ruled by Mars. But this Tuesday, July 3rd, the moon will be in wet waters, the oceanic depths of Pisces. However, is going to really have an uplifting and joyous feel to Tuesday, because that Pisces moon is going to make a beautiful trine with Jupiter and the Sun, and will conjunct Neptune. So the Cancer Sun is water, Jupiter is in Scorpio water, and Neptune's in Pisces water. So this watery moon is really going to bring some clairvoyance, fabulous time for meditation, yoga, and prayer. A very fabulous time for you to affirm your intentions. And remember, you see what you believe, and you believe it because you see it. So the loop there is that your thoughts create your reality, and what you intend to believe, you can really set in motion, especially on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday is Mercury's day, and so Mercury being the god of communications, that's always a great day for meeting and for talking things over. Now, this particular week, it's going to be our July 4th Independence Day, and it starts in Pisces, but by sundown for our fireworks, the moon is going to be in Aries fire. So it should be great fun. And that day has an Appreciate America feeling to it. I want to just briefly tell you a story. It came to mind as I was looking at a news story about the border crisis. And they were asking the question, why are all these people leaving their countries to migrate to the U.S.? And I remembered a trip that I took way back in the 1980s with some mental health colleagues, and we went around the world in 21 days. I'm going to skip over the foolishness of such a loaded itinerary, but we were trying to take maximum advantage of an all-expense-paid speaking engagement that we had in Bangkok, Thailand. In every country we visited, we had local mental health professionals sort of escorting us around. And that gave us this insider scoop about treatment or the lack of treatment in many countries. We went off the tourist beaten path and saw really the underground of those areas. So the end of my trip says it all. When my flight from Japan touched down in Hawaii, I know this sounds hokey, but I burst into joyous tears, and when I got off that plane, I did literally kneel and kiss the ground, because I had such a new, not even renewed, but a new appreciation of the freedoms that I have in America. And I was thinking about the 4th of July and how perhaps I have come, like many of us, to take those freedoms for granted, to not really step back and look at what an amazing country we have, where we can speak our voice, we can say whatever, and even though it's a mess, and even though people misbehave, and politicians lie, and presidents break promises, really, it's a privilege that we should treasure, to be able to speak up for ourselves. So, I think it's America Appreciation Day. Now, Thursday is Jupiter's day, always. So it's usually a day of gratitude and thanksgiving. And this week, it's especially that, because the Cancer Sun is going to try and make a beautiful, easy connection with our archetypal Santa Claus, Jupiter. So we are going to have feelings of generosity of spirit. It's a wonderful time to practice giving and receiving, which are actually one loop. And the same day, we also have the moon trining Mercury, which is if you have something that you needed to say and maybe you were misunderstood or you couldn't quite find the words, then this Thursday is the day that you can. Relationships get a little challenged, love relationships, that is, but the trine with Mercury should settle all disputes. Now, Friday is always Venus's day, and this Friday it has Aries moon to it, but not maybe as easily loving as Venus's other Fridays. Because we have a square to Pluto, meaning you're going to emotionally feel something perhaps from the past, but bubbling up from your unconscious that on the first breath of it, you may not feel very comfortable, but believe me, it will be in your best interest. Saturday is Saturn's day. That's why we do all the chores and so forth and clean out the garage. But this Saturday with the Taurus moon is going to be very fresh and even exciting. Moods are pretty stable, but you can expect a sudden change in how you feel. Just don't let it anger you, because really all that we're about in July is the alchemy of changing anger into fierceness, into fierce action. So Sunday, the moon is still in Taurus, and it's a beautiful day for prayer, meditation, being quiet, checking out how you really are doing inside, because you'll get clairvoyant insights and epiphanies that will bring you a deepening of understanding about yourself and others. So on the road ahead, as I mentioned earlier, we're heading into a pair of eclipses. They always travel in pairs. And so the first one we will have on June the 12th, but the big one will July the 12th, and the big one will be coming July 27th. And why is it big? It's because that is the same day that Mars in his orbit makes a close flyby to us here on Earth. And at the same time is part of that eclipse, because Mars will be sitting or flying by the moon exactly. So as a warm-up to that, think back to Saturday, June 30th, because we had a prelude that day, which was the moon was paired up with Mars. Ordinarily, that's just irritability and anger. However, the moon with Mars, as we head to this big eclipse, is about, well, it's about asking the question, what do I really want? And on the larger global level, what do women really want? And there's that great myth of the king who, in order for someone to qualify for his daughter's hand, he gave them the quest to go across the land and find the answer to the question, what do women really want? And of course, there were many, many failures until finally this one knight who had gone deeper into the forest and met with the three witches comes back to the king and answers the question. He says, what women really want is to have their own way. And we are sure seeing that in this 2018 year of the woman. So I think it's going to be a lot of beautiful voices speaking cooperatively, and teamwork, which Mars in Aquarius is all about, is going to be our way, our method, as well as our tool for helping this really weary world that we're in. So let me leave you with this, because just this week I heard somebody, we were talking about hope and how the world and all of us in it need hope. And this friend of mine said that he just heard hope explained as hearing other people's stories. You know, that really always inspires me when I hear somebody has faced a difficulty and gotten on the other side of it. And so please share your stories with your friends, with anybody who will listen. If you have a story where you overcame an obstacle and on the other side you really were better off. So thank you for listening. I think if you will go on my website and look under horoscope, I have left you an in-depth blow by blow of Mars in his retrograde phase here while he's in Aquarius, and what all that means. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And also there I'll post a copy of the July Lunar Calendar, so you can really follow along. This July in particular, please keep your journal. Please notice yourself and what you're feeling and what is happening in your life as we move through these huge turning points. Because the July 27th opportunity is the opportunity to reboot. And Mars retrograde is reboot anyway, so it's like 3 times the power behind that we would ordinarily have. So thank you for listening. Have a beautiful week where you celebrate your freedom. If you're not in the U.S., celebrate your personal freedom by speaking your voice and saying what you see. Bye for now.